It is the week of March 10th, 2020. My name is Eliana. Welcome to your Ruth Fisher News. Imagine going to sleep during a snowstorm. Not something many of us here in Arizona have ever had the chance to do unless you used to live somewhere north. Now imagine that you wake up and your entire house is completely encased in inches of thick ice, leaving you no way to get out. Well, this was the reality for residents in western New York State last week. Hundreds of houses were sealed frozen shut as an overnight snow and ice storm mixed with the incredibly strong winds blowing the snow and ice around the houses. Residents have described it as beautiful but eerie sight. The biggest concern right now is that the weight of all that ice could severely damage roofs, windows, and other structures. Last week in Goodyear, a small airplane pilot experienced one of the scariest moments of his life. Before descending to make a landing, he realized that his landing gear was broken. He began circling the airspace above the Goodyear airport, making a plan on how he was going to try to land his plane. He came in at a low angle, and then the bottom of the plane kissed the runway and then proceeded to skid to a complete stop. As soon as the plane came to rest, the pilot and the passenger ran from the plane. No one was seriously injured, and firefighters were ready for any fires or explosions, which luckily didn't happen. Now let's go over to Mr. Dobesh with Weekly Update.
Good morning, Ruth Fisher Colts. Welcome to the last episode prior to spring break. So spring break is coming up, so make sure you get some rest during spring break. Continue to read and work at becoming smarter. A couple things prior to that. Obviously today, if it's Tuesday, and Wednesday tomorrow is our Galileo testing for reading and math. So take your time, do your best, show your work, find the evidence that supports your answer. Math test, same thing. Show all your work and verify all your answers. To make sure you're doing your very best on those tests. They give us a lot of valuable information on what we need to continue to work on and to get better at. Report cards are also going home this week because now it is fourth quarter. So report cards will go home on Wednesday. So make sure your parents get those and bring those envelopes signed back because we do have parent-teachers conferences on Thursday and Friday. Both of them are half days. So you guys get to go home early. Your teachers will be here with conferences. So with that, it is the start of fourth quarter. So make sure you get off to a good start. Make sure you're working hard, doing your work, and following those expectations around campus. So with that, come Friday afternoon, enjoy your spring break, and we'll see you on the other side of it.
Thank you, Mr. Dobesh. Here's Toby with sports.
Hello, welcome back to sports. My name is Toby. In the NBA news, the Suns lost their first 3 games of a 6-game home stand against the Clippers, Pistons, and Warriors. Those losses dropped their record to 24-37. Those losses also dropped them down to 15 places in the Western Conferences. The Coyotes went down 2-0 quickly against the struggling Buffalo Sabres last week on back-to-back shots. However, they got their game together in the second period, scoring 3 straight goals, including 2 by Clayton Keller and 2 more goals in the third to win the game 5-2. They're right on the edge of making the playoffs and need to continue winning to have a chance at playing for the Stanley Cup for the first time in 8 years. That's all for sports. See you next time.
Thank you, Toby. Here's Jeremy with entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Jeremy. March is a big month for outdoor festivals in Arizona. This first one is a weird one. The Chandler Ostrich Festival is this weekend. People will be able to jam to the 90s with 98 Degrees and Blues Traveler make their way to Chandler's Tumbleweed Park to headline the annual Ostrich Festival. The yearly festival has carnival games and rides, foods and drink, and of course the ostrich exhibit, which pays tribute to the city's historic ostrich farming roots. Admission is $8 to $15. March 21st and 22nd, you can head to Luke Air Force Base for its biennial air show. The U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds and U.S. Air Force Wings of Blue demonstrations are scheduled to perform at this year's event. People will also be able to see displays of military aircraft, including the F-16 Fighting Falcon and the F-35A Lightning II. Admission is free. That is all for entertainment news. See you next time. Bye. And it's also Chuck Norris's birthday.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now it's time for Joke of the Week with me and Candace. Hello, welcome to Joke of the Week. I'm Eliana.
And I'm Candace.
And today we have with us Aubrey from Miss Vedasia's classroom. So Aubrey, what's your joke?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Broken pencil.
Broken pencil who?
Never mind, it's pointless.
Great joke. Here on Joke of the Week, we want to hear your joke.
If you have a joke and would like to be on the news, go to the link down below. See you next time.
Now it's Fun Fact Trivia with Tyler and Kurt.
Welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. My name is Tyler.
And my name is Kurt.
This Tuesday, March 10th, is National Mario Day. It is celebrated today because when you see the abbreviation for March and the number 10, it looks like Mario.
There are lots of famous Marios, like Mario Andretti, the race car driver, Mario Batali, the chef, and Mario Lopez, the actor. This Mario Day is made for the most famous video game character of all time. Your question today is, what year did Mario the Plumber make his first appearance in a video game? A. 1979.
B. 1981.
C. 1983.
You have 10 seconds to decide which one is correct. If you said B, 1981, you're correct. Mario made his first debut in a game called Donkey Kong. Then in 1983, Mario and his brother got their own game called Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Bros. Came out 2 years later and was a huge hit for Nintendo. That's all for Fun Fact Trivia. See you next time.
It's also Chuck Norris's birthday.
Thanks guys, here's Science Time with Matthew and Ryan.
Welcome to Science Time. My name is Ryan.
And my name is Matthew.
Scientists have discovered a new type of superglue. Current superglue is typically made up of harsh chemicals, and if it gets on your skin, it can be very difficult to remove. This new superglue being developed and tested is completely plant-based. The material combines with water, but as the water evaporates, it leaves a very strong bond between the two sides.
Initial tests have shown that just one drop of this glue, left drying for 2 hours, can withstand almost 200 pounds of force before being torn apart. Once the technology is developed further, it is hoped that it could find the use in applications such as electronics or packaging that can stay intact for the duration of their intended use. But that is also easily taken apart for recycling upon being discarded. That is all for Science Time. See you next week.
Great job. Here's Michael with Word of the Week.
Welcome to Word of the Week. My name is Michael. This Word of the Week is dedicate. Dedicate is a verb and it means to give time or effort to certain task or purpose. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. After the storm, teams of helpers arrived to dedicate their efforts to rebuilding the library. See you next time on Word of the Week, and it's also Chuck Norris's birthday.
Thanks Michael. Here's Danny with This Week in History.
Hello and welcome to This Week in History. My name is Danny. On this day, March 10th, 1876, the first phone call took place. Alexander Graham Bell made a call to his assistant and said, "Mr. Watson, come here, and I want you." This happened just 3 days after receiving a patent for the telephone. He filed his patent on February 14th, 1876, just a few hours earlier than another person, Elisha Gray, tried filing for his version of the telephone. Bell was first, so he got the patent. Bell successfully tested his telephone for the first time in his Boston home. In May, he publicly demonstrated the invention before the American Academy of Arts and Science in Boston, and in June at the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. In October, he successfully tested the telephone over a 2-mile distance between Boston and Cambridgeport. That's all for This Week in History. Also, today is Chuck Norris's birthday.
Thanks Danny. Now it's time for Tech News with Thomas and Xavier.
Hello, welcome to Tech News. My name is Thomas.
And my name is Xavier.
Plasma is considered by scientists as the fourth state of matter, and most famously known as forming the center of our sun. Scientists have been working to find new uses for plasma. The first one that we will talk about is the traditional lighter. Lighters can be used to light grills, torches, and more, but they are not green. Some recent improvements have just given the traditional lighter a massive upgrade. Scientists have made a new type of lighter. It uses the same stuff the sun is made out of plasma. Plasma lighters don't use the harmful chemicals that traditional lighters use.
Speaking of plasma, a new type of pens are being made. A plasma pen is used in wood and carving in stone, if hot enough. It is concentrated enough that if it is Applied long enough, it can melt metal. Many industrial appliances already use big plasma torches. But with recent discoveries, the small technology is available in smaller packages. That is all for Tech News. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Now for a few reminders. Odyssey of the Mind is selling candy on Wednesdays. Bex Robotics has finished selling candy and chips on Thursdays, but they'll see you again next year. Congratulations to the boys who made the baseball team, and good luck to the girls who are trying out for softball. And Thursday and Friday are early release days due to conferences. Have a great spring break. We'll see you next week on the 24th. That's all for you, Ruth Fisher News. See you next time. Go!